You can go back and add to any picture.
At Prairie View Elementary, Dan Wright's second graders are already global thinkers.
So what's a group of ships called?
Fleet.
A fleet.
To understand diversity, students only need to look as far as the next desk.
Okay, so what number goes over here?
37.
37.
It's been 4 years since the Eden Prairie District found itself in a fierce community fight after redrawing school boundaries. With an increasing Somali population, the district wanted to close racial disparities, especially evident in its elementary schools.
I think time certainly does heal some things.
Assistant Superintendent Josh Swanson says today the district has 33% students of color, with 70 languages spoken. He reports overall students perform at higher levels since the boundary change, even outperforming state testing standards.
We've gotten great feedback from the community about the service and the learning and those pieces that we're providing for students. We certainly still have a complete equity lens too in terms of looking at how we're serving each student.
The community's halal market is a gathering place for the nearly 4,500 Somalis who call Eden Prairie home.
Who's your teacher?
And worries over education is a common conversation here.
We work, we are taxpayers. Our kids born here, grow up here.
ASAD ALIWEYD and AHMED JAMA are Eden Prairie parents and advocates who believe the boundary change only drew a greater line between their community and the district.
We don't have a voice on the table where decisions are made.
JAMA became a face in the original fight when he spoke on behalf of his 2 daughters 4 years ago.
If you don't support this proposal, your very mission statement becomes a mockery.
That was the first time we advocated for our kids. 15 years we lived in the shadows of society. And the first time we came to the microphone to advocate for our kids, all hell broke loose.
When the school board asked Superintendent Melissa KRULL to make boundary changes,
strong emotional feedback.
Angry parents rose against it. Some threatened a lawsuit, and the controversy eventually drove KRULL from her job.
So we're ready to transition everybody to...
Today, KRULL's work in schools continues in another way.
And it could be African American males, 2 classrooms.
She leads an institute for principals at the Minnesota State MANKATO campus in Edina. With another former superintendent, her class focuses on courageous leadership, encouraging principals to become more conscious of racial inequities.
From our vantage point, school leaders, principal leaders in particular, really can make a difference. They're serious leverage points in getting different results for kids.
I have great hope that our teachers will be trained differently, our principals will be trained differently, and that students will succeed.
I'm taking 45 African American boys and we're going to goal set.
The 2-year program brings principals from across the Twin Cities together to break the code dividing students.
We should look at diversity as like potluck, bringing something to share. And the more we have that lens, the better we'll be and say, you know what? It's okay to be different.
These are the elementary schools in Minneapolis.
MYRON ORFIELD, a University of Minnesota demographer, predicts conflicts similar to Eden Prairie will happen in other districts.
Schools are becoming more segregated, and nowhere are schools becoming segregated as fast as they are in the Twin Cities.
He believes school segregation is directly tied to the availability of affordable housing.
It's because we've decided to build all the affordable housing and concentrate all the social services in a small number of places, and we have left most of the affluent communities just off the hook entirely.
ORFIELD blames the Metropolitan Council, saying in the 1980s it stopped requiring all suburbs to build affordable housing. The Met Council argues that's not true. The staff says it's always had a mission to bring affordable housing, but over time, federal funding dried up and the current housing stock aged. Next month, the Met Council will adopt a new housing policy to give cities more help providing affordable housing. And the city of Eden Prairie says it will invest in more than 1,800 affordable housing units in the next 5 years.
The affordable housing is shrinking. So 50% of the people I knew are gone.
Ahmed Jama's daughters remain in the district today, but he isn't sure what the future holds for his family in Eden Prairie.
I don't think equity is their priority anymore.
4 years later, a view through the lens here reflects a community still struggling for equity.
All right, let's get back to our sheet. What are we on, number 6?
But back in Mr. Wright's class, second graders focus on what can be learned. And the only lines drawn here are intended to map out a future.
Excellent.
In Eden Prairie, Lindsay Sievert, KRULL 11 News.
Great.